You're a nobody, my daughter said in front of her friends on my birthday. You fix toilets. You think that makes you a man? Mom's new boyfriend owns 3 restaurants. My wife laughed and added, well, it's time you know the truth. You were always just temporary. I didn't say a word, just packed my bags. 30 minutes later, my phone blew up with 29 missed calls. Chapter 1, The Birthday Breakdown. I wasn't expecting a celebration. After all, it was just my 46th birthday, and I've never been one for candles or cake. But I didn't expect humiliation either, not from my own wife and daughter. We were in the dining room. My wife, Lisa, had insisted we do something low-key at home. She ordered takeout from some upscale fusion place, poured wine she didn't offer me, and invited over her new circle of friends, none of whom I knew. I stood in the corner sipping flat soda, wondering when I'd become a ghost in my own house. Then it happened. My 17-year-old daughter, Madison, giggled with her friends while scrolling through something on her phone. One of them asked, "Wait, is that your dad?" She looked up at me with a smirk. "Yeah, that's him." She turned to them and added, "You know, he fixes toilets for a living. Thinks that makes him a man." They laughed. She laughed. And then came the part that truly shattered me. "You're a nobody," she said loud enough for the whole table to hear. I looked at her, my daughter, the girl I once carried on my shoulders at the zoo, whose scraped knees I cleaned with shaking hands when she cried. The same girl who used to say, "You're my hero, Daddy." Now I was just the joke. But it didn't stop there. Lisa raised her glass, smirked, and said, "Well, it's time you knew the truth." She motioned across the table to a man in a designer suit. I hadn't noticed him before. "This is Derek. He owns 3 restaurants in the city. He's more of a man than you've ever been. You were always just temporary." No one stopped her. No one even blinked. I didn't yell. I didn't throw the wine bottle. I didn't cry. I just stood up, walked upstairs, and packed my bag. One duffel. No hesitation. As I zipped it shut, I heard them still laughing downstairs. The only thing louder was my heartbeat in my ears. I walked past them without a word, and the moment the front door closed behind me. Peace. 30 minutes later, as I sat in my truck at the edge of a darkened park, my phone began to buzz. 29 missed calls. 1 from Madison, 2 from Lisa, 26 from unknown numbers, and the last from Derek. I stared at the screen, then smiled because I had already decided they were going to regret every single word. Chapter 2, Let Them Laugh. The first thing I did was turn off my phone. Not because I couldn't handle it, but because I didn't want to. Their panic was just noise, and I wasn't ready to listen to it. I spent that night in the backseat of my truck, parked outside a 24-hour laundromat. It wasn't warm. It wasn't comfortable. But for the first time in a long time, I could breathe. As the sun rose, I drove to the diner near my old apartment, one that still gave free refills and never rushed you out. I sat in the corner booth and ordered coffee. Black, like the thoughts brewing in my head. It wasn't about revenge at first. It was about trying to understand how I got here. I gave them everything. Lisa and I met when she was working part-time at a bookstore and I was still doing my plumbing apprenticeship. We had dreams. We had plans. I remember the day I told her, "Give me 10 years and you'll never have to lift a finger." She smiled and said, "Just don't forget who was there when you had nothing." I didn't. Turns out she did. Over the years, I built my own plumbing business from scratch, took night classes to get certified, bought the house, paid off her car, took Madison to every parent-teacher meeting, even when Lisa couldn't be bothered. And now, I was temporary. But if there's one thing working in sewage teaches